The next night, Adam made the suit slither about until it morphed into riding leathers, and he walked around the corner to the bike. He was ready. Another night, another fight. It was time for the arena. An alarm went off. Kathy ran from another room with a toothbrush in her mouth. She clicked the computer console. Adam cracked an eyebrow at her. She yanked the toothbrush out of her mouth.
One of the houses we have under surveillance for gang activity is seeing some serious commotion.
Adam looked at the clock nearby, then at the computer. Feed it to me as I drive. And he revved the engine of his cycle before she could protest, and burned rubber out the ramp before she could even approach. He didn't even have his helmet on. The suit slid up over his face to imitate one well enough. I love this thing. A little light flicked to life on his small bike console. The suit grabbed an earbud from the small slot there and slid it up to his helmet and fit it perfectly into his ear and even pressed the little button for him on the bike.
You forgot your helmet. I know we haven't had much criminal action on the street lately, but what if you get hit, or if the cops pull you over?
Don't worry about me. Just feed me the directions over the comm. His helmet meant no heads-up display map.
But you don't even have your suit on, or with you.
Adam smirked. I have a new one with me, just in case. It's, built for stealth, just in case I get caught in the field without my armored one. It fits in a small compartment on the bike, and I wanted to give it a test run anyway.
What? They could have guns and knives, and you're going to fight them with cloth on?
Kathy! This isn't just spandex. Keep feeding me directions or we lose a possible lead on Hrax. She was silent. Kathy, Adam said firmly.
Sorry, go right at the light.
Good. She was buying it. Several men walked into a small, dim room in a run-down building not too far from the warehouse district. One yanked on a light dangling from a thin wire. The other two men slid a third onto the floor. A chunkier one sat in a very nasty chair and spoke after lighting a cigar. Adam, fully suited in all black in the strange, bizarre suit, crawled across a rooftop nearby as a dark silhouette in the moonlight. Audio crackled into the earpiece. So, Beasley, you racked up a considerable debt betting in the arena. It's time for you to pay up. I have the money, I swear. I need to get... But a taser shocked the man. Gah! Now, Beasley, don't lie to me. I know you don't have it. Just admit it. Men shock him again, even longer. Gah! Silence. Smoke filled the air from the rank cigar. I don't have it. Please, don't kill me. Now, why would I do that? Would it be because you started the nickname they call me under their breaths nowadays? What was it again? I don't know what you're Ah! They tased his throat. He almost passed out. A man grabbed Beasley's hair and held his head up. The chunky man in the chair touched his ear. Come on. I know you can think of it. We haven't beaten you that hard. Yet. Silence. A thug stomped down on Beasley's fingers. Walrus! That's right. Slit his throat, boys. It's the last thing he's ever going to say. Adam's black, fully masked head jerked up at hearing the audio feed in through his earpiece. I'm going in. But you don't have your grapple. I'm close. A lie. There was a whole empty lot between the rooftop he was on and the window he could see the thugs in. If only I could glide. His cape stiffened and rose and attached to his arms. A flick and click of a switchblade came over the comm. The gleam of metal he could see from there. Shadow dove without a second thought, glided the distance in an instant, and yanked his arms in at the last second, diving through the window. He hit the wooden floor and rolled into the lot of them, and kicked the knife hand up, grabbed by the wrist, and punched the man's face with his other hand. Using the momentum of lost balance, he yanked, and the man's wrist snapped. Shadow's foot slammed into the free-floating ribs of the next man, and he cried out, and fell into some metal furniture, and hit his temple on a corner and passed out instantly. The taser came at him fast and crackled the air with ozone. Where it touched, the suit yanked and flicked and splattered away like someone dropped a stone into a pool of water. Adam cried out, then spun in a blind arm outward, hitting a face, as that familiar heat and cool entered his head, as his blood turned warm and his head was instantly clear. He threw the knife into the light bulb without even looking. Darkness. Only the taser's arching bolts on the floor lit the room at all. But in that small light, the shadow was not to be found. Beasley had long since passed out from pain and fear. But the Walrus stumbled back in the dark, reaching for his chair. Finding it, he rested a hand on the armrest, until the armrest slid out from under his hand. He let out a little yelp and spun, tripping over Beasley, and standing still as the muffled voice of a man being choked out came to his ears. His other henchman was being knocked out. Silence again. Seconds passed as eons. Then, a powerful grip grabbed his coat, and he was dragged to the other window and sent headlong into it. But his jacket ripped, and he fell out of it. Ah! Thump. Adam looked at the jacket, then down into the alley. Oops. His strength and his grasp of how fast it was increasing was escaping him again. No time. He stepped up to the window and looked out. In the empty lot lay the Walrus. Some small-time money-collecting minor crime lord, no doubt. A nobody, wanting a name for himself. He was still conscious. They were only a few stories up, after all. The chubby man looked up through hazy vision, and soon remembered where he was when he saw the shadow's head stick out of the window and peer down at him. The portly man tried to cry out, but found his wind was knocked out of him. All he could do was open his mouth in terror and mime a scream as the shadow seemed to grow wings and leaped out of the window and fell toward him. Shadow landed in front of the Walrus and marched up to him. You can't scare me, Blue Shadow. I'm wise to your game. You don't murder people. Even criminals. Shadow lifted the man with one arm despite the man's girth. Do you see any blue? The Shadow punched him. Wait. You ain't the Blue Shadow. There's no blue. I stay away. Shadow threw the man against the bricks. Ah! You've had the wind knocked out of you twice now. When you want to breathe for more than a few seconds, let me know. The man struggled for breath. He waved his arms in protest as the Shadow slapped them aside and sent a fist into the man's gut. He stumbled back into the bricks again. I don't have time for this. Stop whatever it is you're doing, or I'll be back. The chunky gentleman nodded in desperate fear, gasping for air until Shadow punched his head to cause it to bounce off the bricks. The portly man, half able to stay conscious, blinked, and after one blink, the Shadow was gone, and the Walrus passed out.